And I have to share my screen.
Yes. Are we gonna learn more stuff today?
Yes, so today we are going to start the class with the lecture.
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 So you're gonna teach us about something?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Makes sense.
So it's pretty much like what we. Okay, which screen am I sharing? I'm not sharing the right screen.
You have multiple screens?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let something open, then I would share the screen.
Maybe move the Skype window to the other screen and then click share screen.
No, hold on. Okay, I would see like yes.
There we go.
It's joined also. Okay, good. So let me go to our class.
We are going to be doing a lecture.
Okay, it's reiterating the concepts that we learned like last week. I know we kind of we started covering the concepts about functions, everything at the end. And I felt like we were rushing through it, and not everybody were successful executing like the first course. So we're going to be like doing the lab, like lecture again, and then we'll do the lab later after this. Okay, functions. So so quick intro of the functions here is like we talked about like the toaster, right? Like a toaster has a functionality to toast your bread or bagel that you put it in.
Yep.
So you put your bread and you get the toasted bread. If you put a bagel, you get a toasted bagel. And if in case you're putting a paper in it, it's still going to do the work. It's just the output is going to be very different.
Yes.
Right. So the basic functionality of the toaster is that it toasts. And you, as mentioned, like you cannot put like a paper, or if you pour milk into it, we just don't know what's going to happen, but don't try it. So it's not going to, the output, like the result is not going to be an expected result. Like you cannot put a paper and then expect it to give a toasted bread. That's not possible. What you put in and then it does its work and then gives you the output. That's how like the functions are all like built even in the code. So if you need to heat your milk, you need to use a microwave. So use a different function to for different functionalities. So if you need to like cook rice, you use like a rice cooker or like an instant pot, something like that. And so in programming languages, we do use like functions a lot. As you become like advanced programmers, like you would start even not even advanced programmers, like a mid-range programmers, you would still be using functions a lot because it can be created to perform a single function, and it can take like different kinds of inputs into it. It can be used by different codes. So once you create your function program, and then basically you are going to make it available for all others to use, like the way how we are using our turtle right now. So Advait, can you mute? So if you
Oh,
can mute, yep, thank you. It can be used by different codes, like the way how we are using like the turtle and the tick inter. All those are all like different functions like written, like when we say like turtle.bg color, like background color, it is setting the background color of the turtle. So that's a function written within the turtle library. So that is one advantage, that you can it can be used in different codes. Then it can be called within the like multiple times you can call the same code. So we can take the toaster example, right? Like if you have one toaster in your home, then everybody can come and use it. You don't need like individual one for each of you. So it's similar to that. Like if you have like a single piece of code, it can be like called multiple times within the same code. And benefit is that you don't need to repeat the same code over and over again. You like can write like less number of codes and still do multiple work with that. So the main thing is like it's not just you write a function, it's going to do everything. You need to call it. If a function is not called, it doesn't do anything. So example is like you have a microwave at home, you have a toaster at home, but if you don't put the bread into it, like if you don't go to the toaster and put the bread into it and start ask it to toast, it's not going to do it automatically for you. It's just like there for you. It doesn't do anything unless you activate it or like unless you use it. So that's how like function is. Like if you have written a function and then say it's not doing anything, you have to check like are you calling it anywhere. And if you're calling a
Um,
function that is not written, then it's not going to like it would be an error too. Like for example, if you don't have a 3D printer at home and if you're just like saying like I need like print like I need to print 3D printer right now, you just don't have that function in your home. So it's not gonna you cannot achieve that immediately. You have to create or buy one. Yes, Advait, what is your question?
would print be a function?
Yeah, print is a function. So when you're calling like print, it's like a function that is written inside the Python standard libraries. Like it's one of the method. So here's an example, which again last week we did take a look at it. So number of students, number of hours, if we are just like multiplying to find out the student hours. So we multiply the number of students by number of hours. The operation that is done on these two variables, it's just multiplication, right? And you're printing that output. And the same thing, you're doing that same multiplication, but it is done on a different kind of data. So the answer that you get in the second multiplication is the total cost of the pizza. It is not it's not like the total student hours. So in both cases the similarity is that it takes in two numbers, it multiplies it and prints it. That's the key function that it does it, and the multiplication by itself doesn't care what value you are sending it in. It just multiplies and gives it to you. It doesn't care whether it you mean to send like number of students or you mean to send like cost of one pizza. So you can write a function for that, which is the basic functionality. So you would like always when you're creating functions, you would say, what is the basic functionality that you need to do? So that is like multiply. The name of the function doesn't matter. I could have called it like different def gibberish x comma y e also, but as we mentioned, like similar to naming the variables meaningfully, you name the functions also meaningfully. But don't get it mixed up with the actual work that it is doing. So I could have called it as like multi also like or mult. It doesn't matter. So I'm saying like define this multiply function and then it's taking like two inputs. It takes like x and y, and what it should do product like find the product of it and print it. So I translated this one line because that is what it's doing. The common similarity between these two lines is like it takes two numbers and it multiplies. So that's what is translated here. Okay, I will be given two values and then I need to like multiply it and put it in this variable and then print that variable. So now when I calling that function and just say multiply, like call that function with that name, right? Like if we all have names, so we should be called by our names. So same way, like if you want to like toast it, you cannot say toast it in a microwave and then your sister or brother is going to go and put the bread in the microwave and then start toasting it because you said toast it in microwave. We didn't say toast it in toaster. So it matters here a lot what function you want to call. So you say like multiply number of student, then what value are you sending? So you are sending like two different values like here. So number of students and number of hours. Same thing we are doing here. Okay, now multiply cost of one pizza, number of pizza. So if in case we are having anything more than that, like additional multiplications, we can do the same thing. So you have a function here. Can you still do this multiplication here? Yes, you can still do it, but you're just like wasting your time by doing that additional coding. So that's like if you have a toaster at home, you can just toast the bread on in the toaster. You don't have to like toast it in the fire, like sit on the grill and then like toast it there either. Like just paying attention to if it is toasting to the right level or not. You can just use the toaster because it reduces your work a lot. So that's how, like, if you have a function, it just reduces the number of lines of code that you write, so you can just call that function. But it sounds easy though, but still, like, when you are actually doing the functions, there are some things that you would have to like pay attention to, is the inputs that you send to the functions. So what we did here, number of students is 8, number of hours is 20, and we are sending these two values here and calling the multiply function. The key thing to notice is, like, so the first value gets into the first variable here, and then the second one gets into second here. So if I'm having like multiple things, the third, fourth, fifth, it just like it's positional mapping, it matches like that. It doesn't know that because it's blind, it doesn't know that I should decide that number of students has to be the first one or number of hours has to be the second one. It doesn't know that. And I'm gonna bring the example again. If in case like you are having like one in the toaster example, though, it is like the same bread that you put in, but in which slots that you put in, it doesn't actually tell you, it just provides you the slots, and you decide to like put which one in which slot. So it's like that. So number of students, so it's positional mapping. The first one gets mapped to the first variable, the second one gets mapped to the second variable, and then it just like does its work. It's still like something more what you need to consider is like the number of inputs that you send should match. So if your program will error if it doesn't match. If you have two variables as an input, you should be sending two variables. So then the data types of the input should match. Like the program will error if it doesn't match to. Like if it is expecting an integer and if you're sending a string and asking it to do something different, then it's going to like error out. Position of the inputs should match, but the program will not error in this case. But you will see a undesired input, like when your position is like not matching. So for trying to find an example here, let's consider like you have like a laptop and where you have like an USB port, and you have two different items, like in which one of your USB port can do like heavy data like printing and all those, and another USB port is like a light one. If in case like you are giving it in like the wrong ports, if you connect like a printer to a low data byte port, and you can still connect that USB, but then when you try to print, it's not going to print because it cannot handle that much load. So it's similar to that. Like if the positions everything matched, you send it accepted, but then you're seeing a different output. That's because maybe you have to check the order in which you are sending the value. So let's take like some example here, right? I'm taking like the same multiply function here, and then we have like another addition function here. And let's say I'm right saying like multiply 1, 2, 3. What do you notice here though? So the multiply function will take only like two variables, but I'm calling it with three variables. What do you think it will do? Dhruv, can you answer what do you think it will do? Dhruv, are you there?
Which line of code? There's three.
This one, the multiply 1, 2, 3. If we call, so these are the functions we have written. Okay, it
Um,
doesn't do anything when we are calling that function. And when I call function with multiply 1, 2, 3, what will happen?
Nothing can happen because you don't have 1, 2, and 3 assigned to something.
When we see, okay, let's go back to the previous slides here. So we mentioned, so if whatever value I'm sending here, so the first one will go to the first, well, sorry, the first one will go to the first input here, and then the second one will go to the second input here. So
Yeah, but
remember,
there's three inputs there, not
yes,
two.
that was the answer that I was expecting, but you said you did not assign 1, 2, and 3. So 1 would go here and then 2 would go here, but then 3 does not have a space to go. So what will happen? It doesn't, it, we cannot say like nothing will happen. Something will
Yeah,
happen. Will happen.
you get an undecided output since three won't exist, but one and two will, so it'll still multiply those two.
Okay, no, it will error. So it first like says if I say multiply 1 to 3, it says like error. Type error multiply takes two positional arguments, but you gave three. So it doesn't do what it doesn't like say that okay, maybe accidentally this person sent me three, you let me multiply the first two and then give it. What if your intention was to multiply the second and third one, or if your intention is to multiply the first and third one, right? It just doesn't want to decide like that for you. So instead it says okay, I would be safe if I just say that hey, I want only two values, but you sent like three values to me, so that you will get like an error. So when you see error like this takes two positional arguments but three were given, which you may have like noticed when you're doing some of the turtle like input libraries, it would say like okay, expecting arguments, which means like your arguments, number of arguments that you're sending is not matching.
True.
uh, yep, you can go ahead and mute, and the next question I'll ask someone else. So multiply 1. So Miles, what do you think will happen here?
Um, I think what might happen is maybe we'll give an error, or we'll just multiply it one by one.
No, it will error. Your first answer was correct because I said like your Python program doesn't decide on your behalf. It doesn't decide on its own. It will always try to be on the safer side, and in this case, it will say like it's gonna like error too. So it's the same kind of error, but here it says like missing one required positional argument y, which is it was expecting the value of y and then it is not sent. That's what it's saying. It is missing one required positional argument. So if in your methods, if you're seeing this and it might say like missing this argument, that means you have to pass some value for that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can mute now. So the next thing is I'm saying multiply month and July, which I'm sending like two different, like it's a, I'm sending strings to this multiplication operation. Snigdha, what do you think will happen here?
For which one? Like
The
the
last one, multiply
one?
month, comma, July. Is everybody paying attention to what I'm saying? Because when I ask the
Well,
question, mhm.
I have a. Will it like multiply the number of letters in each word?
No, when we learned about like the operations on the strings, what did we learn that we in the string operations it does not do multiplication. So
So
in
it'll
this
give
case,
you an error.
error, yes. So it will give an error. It just says type error can't multiply a sequence by non-integer of type string. So it's saying I cannot multiply two strings.
Because they're not integers.
They are not integers. Like both of them are not integers. So it's saying it cannot multiply a sequence by a non-integer of type string. Okay, so you can go ahead and mute. So the last one, Sandy, what do you think will happen here?
I think it will give another error because July is a string and you can't multiply you can't multiply three times a string.
Okay, so I'm going back to what we learned like in the string operations. If we are multiplying a string with a number, it just prints that string that many number of times. So here the inputs matched. Okay, so number of inputs that you sent that matched, and then it knows it can do like a multiplication of a string with a number is possible, but a multiplication of a string and a string is not possible. So it just gave an undesired input. Maybe this is not what you were expecting it to do. Maybe you wanted like July plus 3 months or something like that, or whatever like you anticipated to do, but it does it like blindly. That's the last piece here, which says like position of the input should match. if like program will not error if it does not match, which means like you um, if in case if there is like a division and separate, a good example would be like if I take like the division and divisor, if I altered, if I wanted to do 10 divided by 2, and then instead of sending 10 comma 2 I send it 2 comma 10, it is still going to divide. It will do 2 divided by 10 and give you an answer, because all you have asked it to do is like divide. It doesn't know which one you wanted it to be a divisor or which one you wanted to be a dividend. So it just still, if everything is matching, it can do the work, it will do the work for you. It will not doubt you anymore, saying that okay, maybe this person is like giving it right or wrong, something like that. So it just does it. Okay, I can multiply July by 3, so it multiplies it like 3 times and then just prints that 3 times. Okay, so with strings, we can do multiplication just with a number. So then, and our result will be this. But with string, we cannot do multiplication with two strings. What would happen if a string we do like month plus July? What would happen there? Alan, can you say what would happen if I, instead of calling like the multiply, I have called add and it says like month plus July is what would be happening? What will be happening at that time?
It would like add like month and July, so it would print like month and July.
Yes, it will print month July without any space in it. It will just like concatenate that and then print it.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this whole code, we did not call add at all. So that add definition, like add function, is just staying there idle. Like you coded it, but you did not use it. So that we'll call it like a dummy code. And when you are like a programmer and like not all the time you will be writing like a new program, right? Most sometimes you will be like servicing the programs that others have written, and it's really a good programmer will not leave any dummy codes into the code, because it's additional headache and maintenance, and accidentally if somebody is like writing that, it is going to do something weird. And if any of the values are like changed somewhere and you need to make modifications to the dummy code all the time, and if you're making changes to the whole code, you need to test that code all the time. So most of the time you have to make sure that you have the code only what is needed. And here this is a dummy code and nobody, it is not called, so it doesn't do anything. So questions so far? And you notice like how the function is defined, right? We define the function, so that's just short form. We call it a def, and then you give a name for the function and what inputs it is taking. If the function is not taking any input, it would just be blank, and then a colon has to be given, and then underneath that, properly indented, you write what all that function is supposed to do. Okay, so next we will learn some new operators and parentheses, like concepts about parentheses, which you have learned about parentheses, but I would like to like emphasize on few factors here. So new operators, so division, we learned division, right? 5 divided by 2 is like 2.5, and that was like a float. Right? If you remember the first class when we talked about why is the division answer a float all the time, because the answer comes as with the decimals, no matter what. Even if it is, even if I gave like 4 divided by 2, it gives it as like 2.0. But if you don't want the decimals, you just want the quotient, you do floor division. This operator is called floor division. That's like you give that operator 2 times. So you say 5 backslash backslash 2, it gives you only the quotient. So that's something I didn't introduce to you guys at the beginning. I didn't want to confuse you, but now you all have like learned a lot. So floor division, we put like 5 backslash backslash 2, then we get only like the quotient. We don't get the decimals of it. Then these rest of the things is for quick coding of assignment. So if we did this x is equal to x plus 2, or like x is equal to where we were adding the sum of all the numbers, right? Sum is equal to sum plus x. So instead of writing sum is equal to sum plus and something, you can always say as sum plus equal to x. So that is like a short form. When you say like x plus equal to 2, it is actually x is equal to x plus 2. This is optional though, like if it is confusing for you, don't try to like follow this way. Writing it as x is equal to x plus 2 is still acceptable, but some programmers are like very lazy to like program like write like lengthy codes, and they might like do it this way too. My preference, I stick with this x is equal to x plus 2 because it's easy for me to just like read it instead of like doing the traditional interpretation, but I'm just like giving it to you guys here though. So instead of saying x is equal to x minus 2, we can say x minus equal to 2. Then x multiplied equal to 2, which means x will get like multiplied by 2 constantly. And in this case, x will get divided by 2 constantly. And here you will be getting like the remainder constantly when you're dividing it by 2, and the floor division, and then the exponential. Questions? Okay. Let's look at the parenthesis. This is like very key. Okay. So parenthesis appears in pairs. Every opening parenthesis should have an ending parenthesis. So sometimes like your code will be just erroring and you would have no clue. You'd have like paid attention everywhere. But luckily in PyCharm, you will see like a red squiggly at end of the parenthesis saying like you have not completed it. So that should give you a clue that, okay, you have not closed the parenthesis. So in the first bullet here, right, parenthesis is left open. We didn't close it. So this will throw an error. And then in the second one, parenthesis is actually not opened and you have only closed it. So you don't have the parenthesis like here. So this will also throw an error. The third one, we have both. Yes.
Oh, okay.
What were you telling something, Vatsal?
Yeah, I actually left the call because you guys couldn't hear me, so I left it and then tried to come back in. So now
Oh,
you
okay.
can hear me. And I had a question
Yes.
for the slide before this, like the page before this. So the question was, what's the difference between floor division and modulus? Like they both find out the remainder.
No, floor division gives you the quotient without the decimal place. Modulus gives you the remainder. So if we do 5 modulus 2, the answer will be 1, which is the remainder. And if you do 5 floor division 2, it gives you 2, which is like instead of 2.5, you give 2.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't do the decimal division.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
That's all I had.
Okay, good question though. So here in the third one, we were looking at the third one here. So the parenthesis is opened and closed. So this one would run successfully. The next one, we opened and closed, but we have like an extra parenthesis open here. So it looks for the pair, like it says, okay, the first one closed is for the last one that was opened, and then it says like I don't see another parenthesis, so this will throw an error. And in this case, there is extra close parenthesis, so this will also throw an error. But in this last one, extra parenthesis, it doesn't matter how many parentheses you put as long as you give it a pair. So you open and close, open and close. So when you see the order in which it is closed is like the last opened is the first closed. So the next one, the yellow is yellow, and then this red parenthesis goes with the red parenthesis. So it doesn't take like the red for this white one and then yellow for the next one like that. It's not like 1, 2, 3. It is like the last opened is the first closed. So this also would run successfully. Any questions here? Because we use a lot of parentheses, so that's one quick thing for you to like check if you are getting like syntax error. And down in couple of classes, we will start debugging error codes alone. I'll give a bunch of that lab, particular lab is going to be, I'll give like bunch of codes that will be throwing an error, and each of you will be fixing the error. So any questions here?
No.
Okay, so conditions. The next concept is conditions, which we glanced through it last week, but we'll take a look deeper into it. So if else condition, right? Like whenever you have to make decisions, you check something and then you decide which way to go. So in, for example, if you have noticed, like when your parents are like driving, they see an exit, they say, okay, whether which exit should I take, like should I take this exit or not? If I have to take that exit, you take the exit, or you just like continue driving. So you are like making a decision at that point, and at the same time they cannot take the exit and also drive on the same road. So you are basically, you have to make a decision and then choose only one path to go, and the answer to that is like always like a yes or no. It's, there is no maybe answer here. So based on the answer you take a path, and then as mentioned, like you cannot take like both paths. So let's take a example here. This the lamp example that we saw like last week. So here you see like multiple if conditions or multiple conditions are checked. But for the first one where it says like lamp is plugged in, if it is the answer is yes, you are checking again like one other thing, one other condition. You are not doing anything if the lamp is like plugged in because the lamp was
Auntie,
not working. Yes, Nikta.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
It's not exactly about what we're doing right now, but
Mm-hmm.
it's been on my mind for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay, if you're writing a program? Is it okay if your program's like really long?
It depends upon what you are trying to do to write a long program. So some of the turtle library programs, if in case like you have taken any look at it, they are all like 4,000 lines of code. It is okay, but it would depend upon what you're trying to do. And within that long program, if you have modularized it in functions, so that's what they call it, like modularize it. If you have like individual like functions in it, and it is okay. Imagine like you have your home like it's just like a long home, no partitions for like kitchen, no partitions for like bedrooms or anything like that. It's just like open, like
That
complete
wouldn't
long.
be very
Yeah,
fun.
so that would not be fun actually, because you need things to be like organized. It's much more helpful if it is like partitioned, and so you can focus on like one room at a time and like clean it, right? Like, so it's like that. So your program can be long. How long,
It
there
just
is no
depends
restriction.
about what you're doing.
Yeah, it just depends upon what you're doing. And if it's for maintenance purposes, it will be really helpful if you have like modularized your program
If you're like
where,
programming a website, is it okay if your program's long?
what can you define long? Because long is subjective also. What do you mean by long?
Like 200 lines of code, like for a website, is that okay?
Yeah, so
Or like
200 lines
if you're
is like,
programming a game or something, is that
it,
okay?
it is okay. As mentioned, like there is no restriction saying like your program has to be like a certain amount of lines, which may be like some of the programming languages might have a restriction saying a particular program can have only like 3,000 lines of code or 2,000 lines of code. I don't know what is the number for Python, but I have seen like programs with like 4,000 lines of code in it. But in those codes, it is all like modularized. So our turtle code is about like 4,000 lines, and but each of the function that you do in the turtle code is all like function, like it's modularized. So if you need to fix a code, you just like go to a particular section and then like fix it. You don't touch the whole lines of code. And especially in Python, imagine like with the indentation, if any of the indentation changes, then you are like um, you'd have to like break your head to see like where exactly it went wrong. Some programs like Java, they enclose in the sense like they say open a curly bracket and then they end a curly bracket and say this is my group of code. And some programs will have like a period at the end of the line of the function to say this is where it ends, and then whatever you have afterwards is like after that. But just in Python, it's like the indentation. If you code something in a wrong place, it just doesn't know where it belongs.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yep. So, okay, coming back to this if else condition here. So in this case, if the lamp is plugged in, we don't have any function that we have done here. We are doing immediately another check. So our code is just like having two if else condition. So it has a if and then another if else condition into it. So it's called like nested if. So we check like if lamp is plugged in. Yes, lamp is plugged in, it's going to do this whole work. It will say if the bulb is burned out, replace the bulb. If it is not burned out, then repair the lamp. So in the else condition here, okay, so where it says like repair the lamp, Watzel, can you say is the lamp plugged in? Is that condition true in this else condition where it says repair lamp?
It's false.
The lamp plugged in, is that false in the else condition here in the repair lamp?
Yeah.
It is true actually, because so all these four lines that is happening, so if lamp is plugged in, then only it will be doing that. So when in the else condition where it says like repair lamp, the lamp plugged in condition is still true. It is false only in this case, else. Got it?
Oh.
Yeah. So it is false only here. In this stage, in the repair lamp stage, the bulb burned out is false. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, Dhruv.
So what would you do if your lamp isn't plugged in and you plug it in? You plug it in, but it doesn't work and your bulb isn't burned out. Because according to this, there's no way to go from plugging in your lamp to making your bulb not burn out.
So let's do that, right? Your lamp is plugged in. So you came here, you plugged in the lamp, and then you're checking if the lamp is plugged in. Now your answer is yes, your lamp is plugged in. Now you're checking your bulb, is your bulb burned out? It is no, right? So it will be here, your bulb is not burned out. At that stage, you will repair the lamp.
Yeah, but there's no arrows pointing to plug in lamp to bulb burned out question. Mark.
No, it just like start over. You will start over from here. It
Okay.
doesn't, there's no arrow. So if it will be starting over from there, and it's basically it's like a loop. That's where like the while loop comes in. So the while loop will say until the lamp works, repeat this process. But then how long you're going to repeat this process? You're just going to like keep checking it. Then you will repair. You should have like repaired the lamp, and after you repair the lamp, you will check again. Is your
Okay.
lamp plugged in?
Got it.
Okay.
What's the little loud noise?
Yes. So can
Yeah, what is
everybody
that?
mute? Can everybody mute? Okay. So now the if else condition here. Here I've written like a program where the user will be entering like a divisor and then the dividend, and then it converts that into integers, and it prints. If it basically checks if the divisor is given as 0, then it say like you cannot divide by 0, else it will like divide by 0. So this is like a pretty one single condition if else. So if something, if you are checking that condition, then do a work, else then do a different work. So the test, when we run it, if I'm entering 10 and 2, it will divide and give me the answer. But if I'm giving like 0 and 10, it's going this path, dividing by 0. So I mentioned this in the last class. You would give so always the program goes like from top to bottom, right? When it goes from top to bottom, the first thing it would check is the if condition. So most of the time, like, so always give the most frequently occurring condition in the if, so that your processing time will be less. It will be like microseconds less, and it really matters when you're doing like that same condition, like the same work for millions of records. So if all the time, most probably, no, probably the user is going to give the divisor as a non-zero number. So that's what I'm checking here. If you don't do that, the most probable occurrence is in the if condition, then it will do the if, and then it is going to come to the else condition. So there is like a few milliseconds or microseconds time it would take to do that check. So if it checks here and it is true, it just does that work, and it doesn't even come to check the else part anywhere. So the very first condition that gets validated, it will do that work, and it will skip that whole if. So always give the most probable occurring condition in the if conditions, or in the order. If you're having like multiple if conditions, then have the order in which the if conditions are given. The first one should be the most probable occurrence, and then the next probable occurrence, and then the next probable occurrence. So let's take a if, elif, else. So that's where like you have like a multiple if conditions, and then you have to like check multiple times. Okay, is this happening? Is this happening? So here I try to put down like a weekday chart for you guys. So what should I do? So is first checking like, is it a Monday or Wednesday? Yes, it's Monday or Wednesday. Okay, attend Python class. It is not a Monday or Wednesday. Then you check, is it Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday? Yes, then do Python homework. So it's not a Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, then is it a weekend? Um, uh, Actually, it should say yes, relax. So that's a mistake here. So it should say yes and relax. If it is no, then hey, check your calendar. There's only like 7 days a week, like that. Okay, so this chart is little wrong here. So it will say like yes, then relax. So our code will look like this. If it is Monday or Wednesday, then I attend Python class. LF, okay, LF Tuesday or Thursday or Friday, then do Python homework. LF weekend, so you're checking like LF weekend, then relax. So this is also good, but at the same time you can also see if it is not Monday or Wednesday, and if it's not Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, what else could it be? Snigdha, can you say what else could it be? If it is not a Monday to Friday, what else could it be?
If it's not a Monday or a Friday, then
Monday to Friday. It is not Monday to Friday. It's not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Then what else could it be?
then it could be Saturday or Sunday
Yes,
or
then
the
it's like a
weekend.
weekend, right? Then it's the weekend. So do you have to check whether it is a weekend or not? You can simply say else relax, because you don't have to check that. So you can check that condition that will be like by default will be happening. If it is all not true, you can check it, but you don't have to check it also. You can just say else relax.
Is
Yeah.
Could you explain the elif concept again to me? I didn't exactly get it.
Okay, so you are checking multiple conditions here. So the first condition we are checking is like, is it Monday or Wednesday? Then that's here. The first condition we write it and then say what we are supposed to do on a Monday or Wednesday. Then next condition we are checking if it is Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday. So instead of writing like else and then if condition there, so you just like mention like elif. It's a short form of saying that it's not a Monday or Wednesday, then you have to still check it. It's an else, but then there is additional condition to check. So you say like LF, else if. That's the SE alone is like left out. So LF Tuesday or Thursday or Friday. If that is true, then do Python homework. Then in the previous slide I mentioned that you can also call it as like LF. If it's not that, LF it is weekend, then you can relax. But if it is not any of these 5 days, it is going to be a weekend. So you don't have to check that also, because that's like default. So you can mention it as else relax. So you can simply say else relax. So you can check it or you don't have to check it. But if you are having more, so let's say you decide to do something else on Saturday, you have a class on Saturday, you can say if it Saturday, then go to gymnastics class or go swimming. Else relax. So that means you relax on a Sunday. Multiple if conditions will be used in the elif conditions. Got it, Snigdha? Okay.
Could you put like two elif?
Yes, you can put two elifs. Like, yeah, you can have as many elifs as you want. Like, and everything will be checking, and at the end, like whatever is not occurring at the end, it's recommended to put a else condition. In case all of those conditions are not met, it will do something by default.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're checking multiple conditions, right? You all remember we learned about like the and the or condition and then the not conditions. So we can check like multiple conditions. So we are checking Monday or Friday. So that is like two different conditions. It's not one condition, but the answer to it will be true, because so when we do or condition, if one of that is true, your answer will be true, right? So if it is a Monday or Wednesday, then this will be true, then attend Python class. Then if it is January and day one, which is it is a new year. So in and condition, both of it has to be true. So if it is January and then the second, it's not a new year. If it is February and then the day one, it is not a new year. So both of this has to be true. So there's two conditions checked here and they are joined with the and condition here. So that is a new year. If it's January and day one, it is a new year. If it is not a leap year, so now the leap year is a condition, but here like we are checking one condition, but then we are saying like if it is not a leap year, then February has only 28 days. On the opposite, if we write if leap year, February has 29 days. So you can do like both ways, but most of the time the not leap year is the one that will be happening, because it's only like 1 out of 4 will be a leap year. So the most probable occurrence is the not leap year. So we just like check that if it is not leap year, then February has only 28 days. Then if not leap year and month February, then the last day of the month will be 28. So we have a not condition and then a normal condition without the not. So if it is not leap year and then the month of February, it is the last day of month is 28. Then if it is not Sunday and not Saturday, so both are not conditions here. It is it it's definitely not a weekday. So the answer is like wrong here. It is not a weekday. Okay, let me quickly fix that one here though.
No, wait, you got it right.
Got
If
it
not,
right?
if not Sunday, if it's not Sunday or Saturday, it's a weekday. If you want it to not be a weekday, you
Oh
can
yes,
take
it's
away.
the weekday. Yes, I confused it with
You
weekend.
want to take away the knots if you want it to be like.
Yes, I got it right. I thought like see weekday and weekend, I got it mixed. Okay. Yes, so if it is not a Sunday and if it is not a Saturday, it is a weekday. See how confusing this not conditions can be. Honestly, really, like the not conditions and then this and would always like you have to pay very close attention to these conditions when you write. So when you write conditions, make it very clear. So if it is not Saturday or Sunday, so this is Saturday or Sunday will be giving you like either one or like if either one of this day will be giving you a positive answer, and then you are like reversing it. So if it is not Saturday or Sunday, then it is a weekday. Then you can combine multiple conditions. Okay, so this first few examples that we gave is just like doing two conditions, but in this case, see, there's more than two conditions here. The first one is like if birth date is February 29th, so no nots there. It's just like okay, if somebody is born in February 29th, And so notice the parenthesis, okay? That condition ends there. So the order of operations and the parenthesis, like that matters here. So that will get solved first. So if birth date is February 29, that's one condition. And now the another parenthesis is starting, but then immediately one more parenthesis starting, which means that ends here. So this is one condition, February and day 29. Okay, so that's one condition, and that is joined with or. And the next condition, March and day 1, so that ends here. So this whole thing ends here. So this condition where February and day 29 or March and day 1, it's actually there is 4 conditions checked, but 2 of it is with and then that answer is actually joined with the or, and that answer is joined with the and. So what would happen, like with the people who are born on February 29th, if it is February and 29th or March and day 1st, they celebrate their birthday.
Wait, that the code, it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. What did
No,
I put
because
now?
you said yourself that if you have 2 open parentheses and 1 closed parentheses, it'll error.
Yeah, it doesn't like okay, this if you are right, because I didn't close this last parenthesis.
No,
This one, right? So
no, not that one. The one at the beginning, you have 2 and only one of them's fulfilled, and same for the second one.
no,
You,
so let's okay. See, this one is
and it's
for
with
this
that
one.
one. Yeah,
Okay.
but
And
the other
then
one.
this, wait. Let's just see. We'll just see. So this one is with this one.
Maybe do that with the
And
February.
then this one, I'm going to put that in yellow. So that is for this one. Okay, so those all like ended. And this birth date,
Yeah.
that is for this one. That's in blue. Okay, so we had all matching. The only one that did not have matching is this first one. So that is ended here.
You didn't put the
Last one
colors
was
for
yeah,
the last parentheses. You didn't put the colors in case you want them in white. Same.
without the colors. That's why the parenthesis like always gets confusing. So when you are like doing a lot of parentheses and coding, just pay attention to. So what we do usually is like we count, like okay, say like 1 2, count all the open parentheses, 1 2 3 4 5 open parentheses are there, and then count the closed parentheses, 1 2 3 4 5 closed parentheses are there. So if it is not matching, that means somewhere I would have like gone wrong, and you try to like copy the code to your notepad or something, and then slowly delete one at a time to see which one did not have matching. So that is why when you, this is called like multiple conditions, like when you combine the conditions with lot of parentheses, it could get like really confusing from the program, and it is easy to make mistake, and you would get like a erroneous result also. Because like if this, even this parenthesis grouping has happened little differently, it all matched but the grouping happened differently, it could be different also. So it might say birth date is February 29 and February and day 29, or March and day 20 day 1, if that is grouped differently, and every single March day 1 this person will be like celebrating birthday. So on the leap year there he would have celebrated birthday 2 times, so on the February 29th and March day 1st also, so that person's age would have been double counted on that particular day. And that's how
So
it's
you
done.
can just use an if-else statement. So you can put
Yes.
if, then you do if leap year, and if leap year in February and day 29, celebrate birthday. Else,
Yeah.
March and day 1, celebrate birthday.
Yes, always that is much better and safer if instead of like combining all of this.
Or if you, or I mean, you could change the March and day 1 to February and day 28 if you wanted to. That can be
No,
interchanged.
usually
I
you
mean,
would not be adding the birthday the day before you were born, because it will be like either on the day or like the day after, I think. So if, I don't think any of us is like born on 29th, but if mathematically it will not be on the 28th. That person has not aged on 28th.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like the way they're doing it February, and day 29 is the last day of February in the leap year. So you could go by the last day if you wanted to like do it like that. It's just
Yep.
another way, mattering
Okay.
on the way you celebrate your birthdays.
Yep. Okay. So next one. Next is any questions on these conditions that we covered, because next we are going to look into coordinates. Okay, so next is coordinates, which we kind of like covered it last class, right? So the middle, the turtle screen, the center point is like 0, 0. And then we have like the positive x-axis, negative y, negative x, and then the positive y-axis. It just like goes in this quadrant. So in the, if you say 5, 0, it is going to be in this section. So if I say 5, 5, it will be like somewhere here. And if I say like 0, -5, it's here. So if it's 5, -5, it will be somewhere in this section. So, so it helps you to like position your turtle. So instead of like saying just like go forward, you can ask your turtle to go to a different place and then start working from there. And like Vatsal asked this question like last time, so it's better to pen up and go to that position and then pen down and start drawing, so that you don't see that line from here to the position wherever you have gone. But if you want to just see the positions, you can always say like position, like go to here, and it would have drawn a line, and then go to a different place, it would have drawn like another line there. So if the next one, like additional functions we talked about, is like the fill color. So you mentioned what color needs to be filled. That's like you picking up a crayon and then you draw the line, and then that is like the line that you're like drawing, and then you pick up like another crayon for like shading, and then you shade that. So that's where it says like begin fill, and then pen down, it starts drawing once it is done, and then says end fill. Wherever you're giving this end fill, that's when it just like fills the color. So here it is just picking the crayon. So if in case you just like wrote this line pen dot fill color, but you did not give begin fill and end fill, you won't see anything happening because you specifically did not use that complete function. So you say like fill color and then begin fill, and you do whatever you are planning to do, and then end fill, that's when you will notice that color. Then for circle, you the same way, you just like mention begin fill, and then you give like circle and radius, and then end fill. So here is the picture for that. And let's see like this. So mention, right, like go to x comma y. So that's two variables. Then we say the x coordinate and the y coordinate, that we are somewhere. And then if we just have to say like pen dot home, it comes to 0, 0. You can also say like 0, 0. This is just like another shortcut of saying like home, go to home. That's also how many characters like you are saving on typing like three additional characters. Like you don't need to say 0, 0. And the set heading, so always we noticed that the turtle was going in this clockwise direction. So you can make it to go in like other direction also. You can make it to go in anti-clockwise direction, or like up and down like this. So you, for that, you utilize like pen dot set heading as 180. So here, like an example, without the set heading 180, it just like the picture is going this way, and then with the set heading 180, it went on the opposite direction. So you see a difference, right? And then you can like, one cool thing I feel is like you can always like give a title to your turtle, so it doesn't tell that weird one for everybody. It just says the same name, and I don't remember what it says on the title though, but you can name your title as whatever you want. So when
I
you
think
get
it
the
says
screen,
Python Turtle Graphics.
yeah, Python turtle, and it says that for every single person. So you can change that, and when you take a screenshot, it just looks cool. So the next one, so this is drawn at the 0, 0, and I think I've shown you this already. So then this picture is drawn from 100, 100. So if I draw a straight line, you see that
So
it's a little bit
coordinates are
shifted.
basically the way you like show how, like where, like it's basically how you tell the turtle like where to put your drawing.
Yes,
Right?
where to put your drawing. Yes. So here I mentioned asked it to go to 100, 100 and then draw the picture. So it's kind of like shifted. So that's we will be using this for our course project. So for our course project, we'll use this functionality and then that definitely like the functions a lot. So the new package I'm introducing is the Tkinter.
What's our
Yes.
second project going to be?
Okay, I'll tell that. Okay, so but before that, let's just finish this lecture here. So the second project is actually a collage, like making a collage, and that collage you will be making with the Tkinter library. So the Tkinter library is similar to Turtle. It has like more functionalities though that we will use for creating animations. It has functionalities to like create graphical user interface, also like easy GUI. So easy GUI is something like we'll cover it in the like next class. That is another library with which you can use like a graphical user interface. Then it has more functionalities to take user inputs like key movements, etc. So like how we have like turtle methods in Tkinter, there's something called like canvas method to like control your drawings and inputs. So here are some of the links for references. So I'll post it in the classroom also for you guys to like take a look at it. And before we get into like the hands-on lab, let me show. So last week we had like some struggles about the libraries, right? So see, when in your Python, like in your PyCharm, if you click here and then right click, it's just I have to wait for it. It's not responding quickly. Right click and you say show in Explorer. Okay, this is one way you can go to the Windows Explorer, like the File Explorer. Let me bring it from the different room. Okay, so you see the program, what the name is like kids, and you see that kids here. So show in Explorer opens it up here, and you can double click on it, and all your Python programs that you have written is right here. Right? So anytime you have to save a picture.
What's VENV? Like
That is a virtual environment where it has all your libraries. Like if you have like installed your PyCharm, not PyCharm, like PyK. Yeah.
what's .idea and
Okay.
PyCat?
Those I wouldn't touch that, because when the PyCharm is actually creating your environment, it creates some default libraries. So I would not touch any of those. Okay. So you accidentally kicked somebody from the call. Okay, whoever got kicked off, they will rejoin Watson, so don't worry about it. I mean, like we have to worry, but we don't know who we have kicked out. Yeah. So did you kick out Veda? Veda is just monitoring the class, so she helps me like later afterwards. So V environment here, that has like all the packages whatever we have like installed. So those you can just like ignore for now. So see, I install like Pygame and it is here, so don't touch any of that. But what I was going to say is like the picture that I sent like last class can be pasted here. So if you find a star like a PNG, you can copy and come and put it here. So what do you do for that? You right click and then say show in Explorer, and that will open your file Explorer. It will actually take you here. You double click on it and then you will see that right here, and you can paste it in this place. That is one way how you can paste it. And the other,
And paste it.
yes, copy and paste it. And the other way is like you can just right click and say paste also, but sometimes it was not coming properly. So the safe bet is like to do it in Show Explorer and then paste it. And when you're in this one though, right? So if you click here, right here, you have the path. So this is what is called like the path for your file. So you copy that path and your code, like where you were mentioning. So you copy that path, you open a notepad and you paste that path here. And let me take the lab. I open the lab or not? So go ahead, everyone, like open the lab. It is the same one in the classroom.google. Let me see.
The lab?
Yeah, so let me say I shifted the location of
Class
that.
1
So
important install lab.
no. I'll tell you guys. Hold on.
Couldn't preview file.
What? This one. So lab 4 conditions.
Give me.
So if you scroll down to labs, lab 4 functions and conditions.
It says when I open it, will be posted after tomorrow's.
No, that is the homework. That's the homework. I said like labs. Scroll down to labs. And then the lab 4 functions and conditions.
Yeah, I got that open.
Yeah, so view the assignment and then in the instructions, you can open that.
Okay, I have it opened.
Yeah, so if we scroll down to, okay, this is like all a little bit not in a, let me open in Google Docs to see. And when I do my labs, or like when I create it in my Word document and then populate it into Google Docs, it doesn't, I didn't realize that it was getting like chopped off very further. So it's actually happening here too again. So, okay, I don't know if there is like a page layout where I can.
I love Google Docs. You can always save your
Like
stuff.
landscape. So yeah, if I do landscape, I think like it's better now. So let's scroll. I'll scroll down. Yeah. So this location, right? Like where it says like file. So this has to be changed to a place where you have any of the PNG file. If not, I posted the PNG file in the Skype session last week. So if we go to the Skype session and then go to the chats, let me see if I'm able to see the picture that I posted last class. Yes. So this picture, if you right click on it and then like you can, if it is saying like open in new tab, you can open it in new tab if in case you're using like the Skype on the web, and you right click and save as. If you have saved it into the downloads, like okay, if you saved it
Daniel,
whichever location you
I
saved
found
it.
another way to make a comment.
What? Okay, whichever location you have saved that, you just copy that location and then put it in a notepad, and the path of how it should be formed, it should be similar to here. So I'm gonna like, let me copy paste this one here. So what is the difference we are seeing? It needs to have like 2 slashes. So I just like go and do like 2 slashes like this. Okay, and you reference to that particular path, like where that PNG file is located. But if you are putting that into the same place where your Python codes are present, you don't need to give all of this. You just mention the name of the file. You will need these information only when your files are not present in the same place where your Python codes are present. So if you want to avoid typing all of this, then copy that picture and put it in the same place where your Python code is. And to do that, you would right click and then do show in Explorer, and it opens your like your file explorer, and you double click that. And when you double click, it actually it's slow here. When you double click, it takes you to that same folder where your codes are present, and then you can just like paste it. Any questions here? Because last class we were spending like a lot of time, and I know it could be like confusing for us if we don't understand like the file path. But if we are forming the file path, we need to form it with copy that file path, like whatever is here, that is your file path. So this is just like the path, right? But it's not, it doesn't have the file name, like it doesn't have a file name. So then if I have to put like this pop.wav, if that has to be like coming, then I have to copy that name of that file, and then I have to like come and put it like this. Then only it references to that whole file name. It does, if I just like stop right here, it is just a directory, it's just a folder, it is not referencing to your file name. So we need to reference to your file name. Got it? So everyone, can you save that sketch.png into the place where you have your codes? So that will be very helpful for us when we do that lab. Everyone, can you do that work right now?
Wait, what's the sketch.png?
So in the chat window, if in the chat history, if you go, I have pasted this sketch, this particular one. I've pasted this one.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, so everyone like right click on it, and you can say save to downloads. If not, if it is saying open in new tab, open in new tab, and when it opens in the new tab, you can right click and say save as. So if you say like save to downloads, it actually gets saved in a different name. So if I go to my downloads here, it actually gets saved in a, yeah, so this one, it came as like sketch.png for me. So it comes to the downloads. So do you see it in downloads, everyone? And from there you can copy it, Control C, and then go to your, so if I do Control C here and go to my PyCharm and then right click to open it in a Explorer. So that opened this one, and I can paste it here. So now I have the sketch.png right here in the same place where I have all my codes. So in the lab, I don't need to give all those paths. Like I don't need to give this whole path. It will be just given as.
Auntie,
Yes.
when I paste it in the place, then it when I open PyCharm, it says everyday jigsaw.exe.
That is a exe actually. Where did you copy paste a exe file?
No, I copy pasted it into the.
Okay, go ahead and share your screen. So I'll stop sharing and we will start doing the lab. And as Sandy is showing that particular lab, he can also do the lab one at the same time. So share your screen, and Sandy.
So this is what's coming up.
No, that is not what I pasted. So delete that one. So open your chat window. Okay,
So
so right click on that, save to downloads, and go to your downloads. So it's there, right? You copied something different. So the today sketch.png. So copy that on the top.
where?
No, there's a very first file, very first
Oh,
one. Yep. So copy that. You
where's?
you didn't select it well. So click that, copy.
Oops.
Yeah, go to your PyCharm. Yep, paste it. Yep, so you have that ready with you. So open the lab. So here you should see that sketch.png.
Did I stop?
Don't stop sharing. Let's do lab. Let's do 2 labs right now.
Okay.
Okay, so do the first one and then you will do the 11th one. Okay, you can copy that comment also. So I started putting like the comment on each of the labs so that we will know what we are working on. I'm going to take some water, guys. Now there should, okay, yeah, that's
Okay. So I have to put the comment.
yeah, just put the comments so for you to know about it. Yeah. So explain like what is this code doing? That's before.
So it's defining add.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's two variables, x and y, and then um I'm pretty sure the second line is saying it's turning them both into floats,
Yes.
and
Adding them.
and then it's adding them and then printing the two numbers that they put in.
Yes. So if you see like we are doing something fancy in the print statement, right? So we are actually so if we are joining like the strings and the variables, like if we have to say the sum of the number whatever number was given inside and the number 2 is the sum, we have to chop that sentence and then join with the numbers and all those, right? So that's like kind of annoying to do the typing. So instead we can say sum of, and we are saying like that curly bracket is saying like I'll send you a value. Okay, I'm going to send you value 0, 1 and 2, and that value you will put it here. And we just like saying those are all going to be variables when you open curly bracket and then say just like 0 and then close bracket and the next one is like 1 and 2, and then we finish that statement. Our statement is done and say dot format. Then you are sending num1, num2, num3. And remember the indexing, like the list, it's now like a list of values you are passing in. So the 0 will be the num1, the 1 will be num2, and the sum is the second one. So it will now print, it will use in the place of 0, it's going to put the value of num1. In the place of 1, it will put the value of num2. And in the place of 2, it will put the value of sum. And then it will print it. Okay. Okay, go ahead and run it.
Oops. So if I say like 5
Mm-hmm.
and then 6.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And because we have declared it as float, the answer is also coming as float. What is the advantage of like giving a float? If in case like you are trying to add a decimal numbers, then you have it right there. It's not going to be truncated and you will get your answer still like non-truncated. Like
Because
try. Mm-hmm.
if you don't put it as a float and they put a decimal, then it
Yes.
will just go to the nearest number.
Yes. Then you will miss some values there. So where are you calling the function in this code? Like, can you tell me the line number where the function is called?
3.
No, there is the function is defined there.
Oh. Then would it be 5?
No, there's so line number 4 and 5 are the work that the function is doing. So the function definition ends at
Oh,
line number
okay.
5.
So then it would be line 10 because
Yes.
it's saying do that.
Yes, do that. That is where it is calling. So it's saying do that, and then it is sending num1 and num2. So num1 will get assigned to which variable?
The X.
X, because it's positional. And then the num2 will be assigned, that is a second variable, so it will get assigned to
Y.
Y. Okay?
Yeah.
Yep. So go and do the 11th exercise.
Oh, I think I tried this one time, so I'm gonna put it here.
Okay.
Oops. Where did it go?
11th one, scroll down further. Yeah. Yep, that one. So you need to copy it from the tk.main. Yeah, I realized that if I put the picture in the next page, it was not formatting properly. So I changed it into a single column. One. So here in the line number 7, okay, let's take a look at the line number 7, is where we are mentioning the place where the picture is present. Right, so now since you have brought the picture inside your same path, you can delete everything where it says like the C until that pictures. Like you can delete that whole thing and just have the name of the file. Yep. So it will say like, so since your sketch.png is like right here, it is going to take that picture. So if everyone can pay attention to this code, I'll explain it. We have done like the turtle a lot, but this one is like the tick inter. The first 5 lines of code that is like needed for any of the drawings that you would do. So first we are like importing all the libraries within the tick inter, like so we're saying from the tick inter like import everything, and then we are initializing that, which is tk is equal to that tkt in capitals, that we are initializing, and then we are forming a canvas of size 500 to 700, which is like when the window opens you would see the width is 500 pixels and then the height is 700 pixels. Then we are saying like canvas.pack, like keep all these images like together here, like everything has to be like posted. So those 5 lines would always be there. The next one is telling about it. This is a photo image. I need to bring a photo image, and the dot sub sample. So these are all like methods, the methods and functionalities. And don't panic looking at all of these codes. Most like 99% of the developers don't remember all these. They all use like Google and reference documents for what? Okay, they all like reference Google for, okay, Snigdha, can you mute?
I am
So
muted.
you
I
are
was
not
just
muted. If not, I would be hearing you now. So I don't know. I don't see the mute symbol right next to your picture here. So none of the developers will be remembering all of this. So they all use Google for reference and then the help documentations. So you don't need to so basically like don't panic, you and all the help documents are like rightly available right there. So here like the photo image, we are saying file, this is the file, and then the sub sample 2,2 means it actually reduces the size of that image so that it fits into the window, and then it just reduces by half. And that's all the functionality that Tkinter has, because Tkinter is not a photo processing application. There is some other package called PIL, like the photo library, which is called like PIL. I think that has like a lot of photo modification options. So then we are saying, yes.
I have to go right now.
Okay, can you just like wait for 5 minutes and go? We'll just like finish this. You can go ahead and run this program.
Hey, Non. Non.
Oh,
She said to wait 5 minutes. She said, can you wait 5 minutes? It'll be done.
There it
Okay,
is.
yeah. So there, just reduce the size, like yes, do that. Okay, so the picture we posted at like create image 0 comma 50. That's what we are saying. Can you move this a little bit to the side, slightly to the side? Yep, that's good. So line number 8, we are saying like canvas dot create image 0 comma 50, which is like starting at the 0. So Tkinter starts 0 comma 0 right from the beginning. It's not in the middle like turtle. It's from the beginning. So 0 comma 50. So x-axis is 0 and the y-axis is at 50. It puts this image, and then the next text starts. So the all those text we are starting at 250, and it is all like centered. That's why you're seeing it like little, you don't see that they're all starting at the same place, but they're all like starting from the same position, and it is just like indented like 30. The first one is 30 apart, and then the next one is like 50 apart, and 50, 50, 50 apart. And we say like this is the text to print, and you can give the color. If you see line number 10, it says like the fill with red color, and then line number 11, 12, 13, 14 and all is having like the font and then the size of it, and the main loops like the turtle dot done, you need to have the tk dot main loop. Any questions on this one before like Sandy stops sharing and then leaving here?
I have a question.
Yes,
Why is
Sandy.
there a backslash here?
Yeah, good question. So because the quotation marks means like we say the string is starting here and string is ending here. So right after that you see that quotation mark. So when for the apostrophe s, so there we are saying this is not a quotation. Don't think that the string is ending here. Instead, I want you to print the quotation. So if you want it to do something different than what it usually does, you will put that backslash there.
Oh, okay.
So that time that's why you see that it has printed its, and it has also printed like the double quotes, because but since that whole sentence you have started with a single quote, it will look for another single quote and then it will end the string there. But it when it sees this, we call it as escape character. Okay, it takes escape its mind to do something what it always does. It just ignores what it's supposed to do. So that's the escape character in Python is like this backslash. And every language has its own escape character.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. You can any others have any questions on this? Okay. You can stop sharing. Who is the next person who want to go immediately? You can start sharing and do the lab number 2 and 3. Okay, Dhruv, go ahead and share your screen and then do lab 2, and then you can do lab 2 and 12 probably.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Lab two.
Tkinter. Uh,
I'm on lab three. I'm starting lab three right now.
okay, go ahead and share your screen and
I
show what you did for lab 2, and then the Tkinter lab 12
I
probably we
didn't
can.
do that yet.
I know we will do it now. I'm saying like we'll
Okay,
just
here.
wait.
So let me share my screen. Share my screen. Okay, here's my screen.
Okay, your bright
Uh,
sound.
lab 70. So
Mhm.
here, let's
Yes,
run this.
yes.
Then can I have a rent? This is lab 70. So we're gonna do 70
Mhm.
times. Last lab was 69, so times 69. 139.
Okay, so where is what function have you written, and then where is the
So this,
function called?
so this doesn't do anything. It's just saying what it does.
That's just a comment.
Yeah, this is saying that you have to what is definition? I think that's what it means.
Mm-hmm.
It's just saying to multiply x and y. But it's
Mm-hmm.
saying the product is the float x and float y, which means it ends with a decimal,
Mm-hmm.
like right here.
Mm-hmm.
And print the product of 0 and 1 is 2, format num1, num2,
Mm-hmm.
right?
What
So
does
that
it do?
goes,
Mm-hmm.
this makes it, so they use this. This is code so they can put this here.
Wait, it
So,
multiplied instead of added. It added it instead of multiplied.
It multiplied actually. There's no addition there though. So
You have to
Actually,
right
he's
click the
right.
actual
He's
command.
right.
oh yeah,
He's
he's
right.
right.
He's
Yeah. So where
right.
did you actually you didn't run this
You
program? I
didn't run
think
that command. You ran
you
number 69.
yeah, your lab is 69.
So
Figure
right
it
click
out.
on that one.
Yep. And everyone, like when you are talking, I'm hearing so much background sound. So if you can request your parents to be quiet
Much
when
better.
you're talking, that will be great.
That's
Wait, do you
much
hear the
better.
background from me?
Yeah.
Got
Because
it.
the sound is
Yes,
coming from
got it.
me.
And this is like time where you can tell your parents to be quiet for some time, right?
So basically, you use this here to get the num1, num2, and product. So
Mhm.
num1 is 0, num2 is 1, and the product is 2. And they use that to set up num1 input, num1 and num2's input, and then it tells you to multiply them.
So that the line number 5 has got nothing to do with the line number 7 and 8, num1, num2. Okay,
But this
I'll tell
tells
you.
you what the product of 0 and 1 is 2.
Yes,
So
yes,
it's
yes,
telling you what's 0 equals
yes,
num1,
num1, yes.
1 equals num2, and 2
Mm-hmm.
equals product.
Yes,
And since you have num1 and num2, that's how the variables here come.
yes, that's right. Yes, and
That's what
then
I'm
the
saying.
product. Yep, and then
Yeah.
the product. And where is the function called?
Function. Which function? To multiply?
Yes, where are you calling that? Where is your function defined, and where is it ending, and where are you calling it from?
It's being defined here.
Is that's the only line? Where does it definition end?
It would end here.
Yes, it ends there. And then where is it called?
It's called here.
Yes, good. Okay, good. So reminder again, like everybody, please tell your parents to be quiet for a while when you are talking so that we can hear.
I have my
Uh,
headphones on, so I should be fine.
but I'm hearing background sound. That's why I'm telling you. Okay, so
I mean, I hear a decent amount. I just hear static, really. That's it. From.
okay.
Okay, so now lab 12 for tincture.
Yes, lab 12.
Okay.
It's
70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. Okay, good. That's lab 80.
yep. So yeah, you maximize this window so you can like copy it like better. Maximize that one. Good.
Okay, here's 80.
No, 12, 12. Yep. So
No, it's 80. I'm calling it 80 because
okay,
that's
okay.
how I'm.
Now click on the very first line on line number on the 12, very first line where it says import time. Click there, and then you copy it. Yep. Just to I think it is copying. Did you?
Okay, LABBS 80. No, I did it wrong. It's 80 there.
Yep. Okay. Go ahead and run that. No, so whenever you're running, I think like it's yes, you are doing that same thing what everybody does. It is running the old program.
Why doesn't it just adapt to that? It makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. I wish it
It's
actually
an
does.
arrow
Yes,
going
and
in
yeah.
directions.
So let's analyze the code. So this is like an animation. So you have created an animation now.
That's a lot of code.
It is a lot of
So
code.
import time. I'm guessing time has something to do with tincture.
No, time has got nothing to do with ticinter. So you see line number 11, 16, you just say like times dot sleep 0.05. You are just like, so then only you would see that moving. So that it takes like 5 seconds. So you have to like close it and run it again.
So then
So
here's from tincture
that's where the
import.
ticinter. Yep.
It's just and then there's a random multiplication sign, I guess.
No, it's not a random multiplication sign. When you say import star, it brings all the libraries from the ticinter. It brings
Okay.
all the methods into its memory.
So TK equals tincture, which is what
Mhm,
TK here means.
mhm,
Canvas is this the canvas
mhm,
is this is like tincture canvas, the width, the height. Then the canvas dot pack, which
mhm.
which
Yeah, so it actually keeps it together. That's how like I see it. Like if you don't have the pack, you will see only like the last one. So when you say pack, like all of this geometrical figures will be kept together.
Okay. So
So
canvas.create polygon makes that triangle you saw.
yes.
For D in range 03, this is two for loops interlapping.
Hmm.
And then
So we have
this is
multiple for loops interlapping.
yeah, and then
So
this is these are the canvas moving and it's stopping for like 0.05 seconds.
mm-hmm.
So then again for X and range, moving it again, updating sleep, for X and range, move, update sleep, and
Yep.
then TK main loop ends it.
Yep. So we are just like moving it. Then that's where like you're seeing the movement. So the range 0 to 20 it just like keeps moving, move, 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 move.
Okay.
That's what you're seeing. Okay. You can stop
Okay.
sharing. And
So
yeah.
I kind of have to go-ish now.
Yeah, you can go ahead. You can go.
Yeah.
Miles, can you share your screen? Uh, I know I saw that you left and joined. Yeah, we will do like lab 3 and lab 13.
Yep. Yep. My screen froze and I couldn't hear like you say
Okay.
anything. Or, like took a minute or two for the unfreeze the fire.
Okay,
So
no
can you
problem.
see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, why is it two? Oh, yeah. And please. Wait. Uh, wait, hold on. That's right. Yeah. Log in this. Here we go. 4, 3. Then this.
Mm-hmm.
This and then you'll run it.
Yep.
Like 10 divided by 10 or whatever. 1.
Yep. So can you say like where the function is defined and where does it end and where is it called?
The function is right here in the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a pen of Y.
Yes.
And the function is called right here, divide 1, 2.
Yes. Where does the function definition is ending? Where is it ending? What line is it ending?
Line 10.
No, the function definition ends at line number 5. So where it says like print, after that is the last statement in the function definition.
Okay.
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 Yeah. So do lab 13, like scroll down to lab 13.
Yes.
Yep, right there. So in this, you would see that, so go ahead and press your keyboard, like in up, down arrow in your keyboard. Yep. So you see that it's moving. So tell what arrow you're pressing.
Down,
Mm-hmm.
left, right. down and right.
Yep. So cool, right? Like even though it's not like a complete game, you have created something which you can control from your keyboard. So let's take a look at the code.
Spamming all the arrow buttons as fast as I can.
So the code, the first few 4 lines, that is like normal. I have mentioned like for your canvas to all like get started, and we draw the polygon, and that is the arrow. And you're saying like fill that arrow with blue. So until that, okay, everything fine. Like it opened up the canvas, and then it filled that, drew that arrow, and then it filled it with blue. Then we have defined a function to move the triangle based on an event. So the event is what is basically sent. And where that function is called like move triangle. And if the event is basically key symbol is equal to up, then it moves it to like -3, like up in the y axis. It is like moving it, subtracting the y axis by 3. And if it is like down, it adds 3. And if it is like to the left, it subtracts 3 from the left axis, like from the x axis. Else it doesn't check for. So if it is like up, down, or left, if it is not any of those, it is right. So to the right, it just like adds 3. So if you see, where are we calling that function? In line number 16 to 18, we are calling it 16, 17, 18, 19, we are calling it, right, canvas dot bind all. If your key, when the key presses up, you are calling move triangle. And when key presses down, you're calling move triangle. And when key presses like left, you're calling the move triangle. So every time you're calling that move triangle function. And that's where it is checking what function was done. So you see a function, you see if else condition, and additionally we are seeing something with the tick inter, like what it is doing. Right. And again, like looking at all these codes, like don't panic. All of this you can Google. You, if you're unable to like read multiple documents and then understand it, you will be able to like do this code. And there's so many people would have like posted code snippets also.
And
Yes.
I was wondering, like, is there a way, like, in Turtle, so that you can interact with the drawing?
No, in the turtle there was no interaction of the drawing happening. Like you can draw interactively, but the movements was not happening. So that is happening in the Tikinter. So Tikinter has this additional libraries for you to like move things.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yep. So you can stop sharing, Miles, and Snigdha, go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, stop.
Okay, one sec.
Mm-hmm. Sandy, are you still there? Was it only Dhruv had to leave? Okay, you're there. Fine. Yeah, I saw you unmute.
Do you see my screen?
Yes, I do. So we'll do lab 4 and 14.
4 first.
4 first.
Function to subtract two numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Let me run it. Should I'm first.
Yeah, I think your code basically had both of it. So
Yeah. 4. Wait, let me put in 3.
mm-hmm.
The difference of 4 and 3 is 1.
Yes, so this is where like it just assumes that you want to subtract 4 and 3, and it gives, but in case your intention was to subtract 3 and 4, then because you gave 4 first and then 3 first, it's just going
I'm
to assign that
rerunning it.
value.
I'm rerunning it, and I want to see what would happen if I put in 7. Oh,
It gives you a negative
goes
value.
it. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So same question that I asked everyone. Can you explain where the function is starting, where is it ending, and where are you calling it?
So. Oh, I was just wanting to know that. So anyway, subtract. It's basically saying to subtract x and y.
So is that my question is, where is your function starting? Like, where is it defined? At which line is your function defined?
This line?
No, the function definition is happening at which line?
This.
Yes, at line number 15. It is starting there. That's where we are saying def subtract, define subtract, and then take x and y as the values and the
Yes.
colon. And where is it ending? Where is the definition ending?
Here. Wait.
Yeah.
Here.
Yes, it ends at line 7. Where is it ending?
Here. This
Tell me
line.
the line number. Tell me the line number. You see the line number
Well,
on the
here
side?
it's 16.
No, it
On the
actually
side
ends at.
it's 16.
So see the indentation, the 16 and 17, both are like starting at the same place, right? So it's actually ending at line 17.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
So the function ends at like line 17 because they are all like lined up at the same place.
yeah.
And where is it called?
Down here. Wait. Yeah, down here it's called.
Yes, it is called at line number 22. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So always your function has to be defined before you call it. If you're like, because the programs are executed top to bottom. So if without
Yeah.
defining it, you cannot like just define it like later, then it will error. Okay,
Yeah.
do lab 14.
Okay. I was programming something at home, and
Mm-hmm.
then I noticed that, so I put a variable after I called it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I noticed that it was giving an error,
Yes.
and then, so yeah, 14, right?
Yeah, 14.
Okay.
Yep. Start a new program
Okay, file.
so that we don't need to like go and like it's gonna like start everything from beginning.
Should I put in lab 14 or lab 4?
Lab 14 is fine. Like it's up to you. The names, it doesn't matter. As long as you are able to like remember and see how you can
So
go.
this is the lab.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So that's all it did actually. So what are we mainly doing? So line 6 and 7 is the key part here. We are just drawing a polygon. So if you say like 10 comma 10 to 100 to 100, so it actually
yeah.
goes from 10 to 10 and then to 100 to 100 and then it starts like the next line. So it just like draws a polygon. So try different numbers and see like what you are basically seeing, like different ones. Okay.
So maybe if I made this 3.
Yes, and your outline you can say like black, and if you change that color, that is the color of your lines that actually comes in. And if you say fill is yeah, if you say fill with some color, it's just going to like fill it with that particular color. And that lab I think we have like as the next one, but if you want to try it, you can give some color as fill. Yeah. I don't think lavender is there. I tried something yesterday, but you can try it. I tried lavender on turtle and then it said no, that color is not there. Oh,
I
it's
tried
that
lavender on
in
turtle.
Tikinter. Okay, maybe I spelled it wrong then. Yeah,
It's
that's
really light. I didn't
yes,
expect it to be that light.
but it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. But okay, your fill is plum, and that plum is looking to me like lavender, and your outline
Yeah.
is lavender, and I'm not seeing the difference. But
And
your
it looks
gold
like
is looking
white.
like yellow. Yeah, your gold is looking like yellow, and I don't see a sky blue, but it's beautiful. So our project is actually like our second project is that like you would create like a collage of different shapes with different colors. That's your project. You
I
can
normally
try your
look at
project anything.
other codes whenever I try to like
Mm-hmm.
do a project, or like when a project's like something similar, which I did in the past,
Mhm.
which is there. I normally look at it and it helps.
It always helps, so it
Oh,
doesn't. So just in programming, there's no guilt about copying. Okay, so I will like tell everyone. They say like there's only one code in a language that is written fresh, and everything is copied. But you need to know coding for even to know that, because you need to know what you have to copy, what you need to search for, where you have to paste, and then debug your code. So you cannot live with copy paste. It's okay to refer to other codes, but that is not what you can always rely on. You need to know how to code, then only
yeah.
you will know what to copy and what to look for even. Okay, so our second project will be that creating a collage, so where you will create like multiple shapes and you will fill that screen with different colors and different shapes. So that will be like after next class. So next, Alan, go ahead and share your screen and you do lab 5 and 15. I see Sean has joined. Great. How are you feeling, Sean?
Good.
Good. Okay, good to hear your voice. So the class is recorded. After the class, you can like review it. As I mentioned in the text that we covered little slower the same concept what we covered from last class with more context. And we are doing the labs. If you are ready to do the labs, you can open your PyCharm and then the Google Classroom, and it is posted in under the labs section. Okay. So can you, whoever is talking, can you please ask your parents to be the background sound to be quiet? If you request, it will be, you don't have to mute, but then the background you can request to your fan, like your surroundings to be quiet. They may not know that they are disturbing you, but please ask them.
Is that good?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's okay, but not better, I would say that. Okay, so yeah, go ahead. You copied the fifth one, right?
Yeah.
Yes, so go ahead and post it in your PyCharm.
Okay.
Okay, run your program and then you would have to like explain it afterward. Okay, so you are dividing 7 by 17 and that is 0.
Yeah.
But it should have printed the 0. I don't know why it didn't print the 0, but there's no reminder for it. So that's why the
Okay, I'll do
reminder is
something
supposed to
else.
be, yeah. Actually, isn't the reminder supposed to be 7? Okay, again you gave like the first number is smaller and second number
Oh
bigger.
yeah.
So the
Okay.
reversal.
Yeah, it's not even printing
That
though.
is, it is not even printing. That is
Oh yeah,
true.
because on line
Because
number 10 there's no
that's a
like
good one because you didn't call the function.
yeah, you didn't call
See?
it. So
So type it. You can call it now. Reminder. So you call it that name. So what is the name of the function? Where is the function defined? Let's start with it. Where is the function defined?
here,
At
three
line
to
number
3 to 5.
3 to 5 is where the function definition is. What is the name of the function?
Num1, num2, and
No,
remainder.
no,
Or okay, x and y.
no. That is the input. What is the name of the function? Define reminder. So that reminder is the name of the function. So when the whatever is we are saying like def and then reminder,
Okay. Yeah.
that one is the name of the function.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
copy that or you can start typing that.
Okay.
And then you have to send in 2 values. Yep, num1 and num2. Yep, so run the program. So this is a good example, right? Like we did not
Wait, what?
yep,
Gave
The
me.
remainder is 0. So 10 divided by 5. For that remainder is 0 only, right?
No, it's 2, right? Oh, remainder. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Run it one more time. Run it one more time.
Okay.
It's something that you will get a reminder as.
Okay.
Yep. So 15 divided by 6, you get a reminder of 3.
Okay.
Okay. So this was a good example, right? We didn't have the line number 10. Basically, we didn't call it, so it actually did not do anything.
Oh yeah, it
And
was there. Just we
it
missed
was
it.
there. I think it is in the next page. So
Yeah.
that's the problem.
I
Yeah.
done.
So do 15th exercise. So it's this one is like pretty much what Snigdha was working on right now, and it's
Yeah.
just having one additional picture to it, one additional polygon, and then we have the fill space.
Okay.
Yep. So that fill, if you just give fill, it fills it with some color. So you can try that with all like different colors and then different paths. The polygon, it just goes so from 250 to 225 it goes, and then from 75 to 0. So that's yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. So our, as I mentioned, like our project 2 is like creating collage. So different shapes, different pictures, like different colors, and you will just like make a collage,
Okay.
shapes collage. Okay. So
Okay.
you can stop sharing. Watsal, is that Vivi? Is that you, Watsal? I think yes. Can he hear us?
Hello? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. You will do lab 6 and 16.
Lab 6 and 16.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
It is loading. Yep.
Okay, so this is lab 6.
Okay. So what is lab 6 doing?
So first you're making a variable called num, and then you're doing evaluate, and then you're doing input, and then it's saying enter number. So then
So
I
basically you are asking for a number from the user and assigning that value to the variable num.
yeah,
Yep. And
and
then
then
so this program is basically checking if that number actually the comment is wrong though. It's basically checking if the number is like odd or even. So maybe I'll check it.
yeah.
Yep, comment is wrong there. So
Okay,
if you divide the number by 2, if there is no remainder, then that number is even, right? So then if it is not even, I'm not checking anything in the else condition. I know that it will be an odd because there is only 2 options. So this is an example for if else
yeah.
condition. Okay. Do lab 16.
Okay. Where's 16? Oh.
Mhm. So copy until that main loop. Are you there, Vatsal? Oh, he's there, right? Yeah, he's there. Vatsal, can you hear us? Or am I not hearing? Can anyone hear Watzel? Or can someone respond to my statement?
No,
Yeah,
I can't hear him either.
I can't hear
Okay.
him.
Okay, Watzel, can you hear us? Okay. Sean, do you think like you can do the lab 6 and 7?
Okay.
Okay. You can
Guess.
hear us?
So six.
Watson can hear us.
Yeah. He would left and join. Yeah.
Where's the lab 6 and 7?
Okay. It is. Are you in Google Classroom? Go ahead and share your screen. Yeah, he has already left and joined. So
Can you hear?
yes, I can hear right now. So
Okay,
did you finish the lab 16?
uh, wait, let me share you and then tell you. Okay, so can
Okay.
you see my
Okay.
screen?
Yes, yes.
You can
Sean, hold
skip.
on. Yeah,
Huh?
Sean, hold on a minute. Okay. So,
So
yes, so this
basically,
is,
what you're doing, you did to Kinter. So instead of doing turtle, it's doing canvas. So then, you told it to do width 400, height 400, and then after that, you just did canvas dot create rectangle,
mhm.
which is 100, 150, 300. So like that's how much like it's gonna like.
Yes. So in the turtle, we were actually saying go forward and then left and then go forward like that. But here we just like we started saying, okay, Sandy, yeah, you can go. We just said create rectangle and then we mentioned the length and the width and the position from where it should be drawing. And that's all like, and it's easy to draw like a rectangle there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So the previous one we created polygons and this one is just like to create rectangle. Okay. You
Uh-huh.
can, yeah, you can, I don't think you're sharing right now. Yeah, you can start sharing. And Sean, yeah, do like 6 and 7.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah. Nikta, if you can, yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay,
Uh,
now should I stop staring? Should I stop
no, you can
staring?
stop. You can stop sharing and then Sean can share and do lab 6 and 7. Watzel can stop sharing. Is this Sean? Yes, it is Sean. Okay. Scroll up, Sean.
Okay.
Snigdha, we are
Um,
almost done. So unless like if you can wait for a few more minutes. Yeah.
can I go?
Yeah, if you guys have to go, you can go if there is like some, but we are almost done. There's only like 5 more lab and each person is doing like 2 at a time. Scroll down to the lab 6, Sean.
Um, lab 6
Yeah.
here.
Yes, lab
Oh,
6.
I did that already.
Yeah, okay, lab 6, he did it. Watzel did it. Now do lab 7.
Yeah, I think
No,
I.
lab 7 and 8. So scroll up lab 7,
Oh,
do lab
Who
7.
kicked me?
Nobody kicked. I thought you left.
I
So,
didn't.
okay, copy lab
I think
7.
I've done 7.
Okay,
These.
if you have last time when I did not have the code there, I just had the comments. If you have done it a different way, you can show that code. If not, you can copy paste this into your PyCharm and then show the code.
Uh, okay. So, well, I think that's it. Yeah, I delete.
Okay, you have to cancel it.
Yeah, I think I delete all the votes. Yeah, or oh, maybe it's in here. Yeah, it's in here.
Yep.
Yeah. Enter the first number, blah blah blah. That's addition.
Mm-hmm. See,
Enter
always
the
try to do
first
like different
number.
program. If not, like now you have to like enter everything. So just go with the flow.
It's
Enter the number. Yeah,
remainder now.
yeah.
See, remainder is like 45. I do 4. You found the remainder.
Mm-hmm.
Enter number. Uh, 6.
Okay, Advait, if you want to go, you can. Yeah.
Enter first number.
Mm-hmm.
That's doing well. The greater and less. 56. 98. Oh yeah, I put that.
Okay, okay. So that is like done, and let someone do the eighth. Like yeah, you do the eighth lab also.
Okay. Oh, well, mine
Wow,
now.
this is nice. You put a different picture. Cool.
Yeah. So can I stop sharing
No,
screen?
do lab 8. You only do lab 8. Do the next one.
Uh, uh,
Is your lab 8 the rectangular lab 8 is write a program asking the user to enter. I don't think like we would have done the lab 8 because it was not posted earlier.
okay.
Yeah, so go to class. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that looks long.
Yeah, just copy the code section. Yep.
Oops.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So when I was doing lab 7,
Uh-huh.
so I tried to see if it would say like 45. I put like 45
No.
for the first number and
Uh-huh.
45 for the second number.
Uh-huh.
But eventually it said 45 is greater than 45. It didn't really say like 45 is equal to 45.
So can you check your code and see what condition you are checking? And why do you think, and can you try to fix your code? That's a good one, but that is what we have coded.
Oh, you have already coded it? Coded it?
That is, you copied and then pasted that code, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Enter
so
not a number greater than 10.
mm-hmm,
20.
mm-hmm.
Answer is
So it's saying, can you
Yes.
find what operation you have done? So if it is like 20, it just like does the mystery answer.
Answer
Okay.
is
Yeah, you don't give any answer, but then that program was supposed to be done. So I am not okay. So that because you got the tickinter also in the same code, right? So your tickinter has opened on the side, like you have a window opened. No, it doesn't. It's not a question. It's not asking for a question here, Sean. So the problem I'm seeing, Sean, like you're doing coding like good, but you're putting all the codes in one single Python file. So now you are thinking your code is asking you a question, but it did not. It finished that operation and it has opened up your tickinter. Do you see your tickinter down opened? So it started executing lines 25 and below, and you do you see
okay.
the tickinter opened?
Like here.
No, no, no. Down where
Yeah,
in your
here.
taskbar.
Yeah. I kinda like mess up.
No, 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 not you didn't mess up anything. So these lines of code 26 to 41 that is running. Okay,
Okay.
Miles, bye. So you see your tickinter is open, my dear. Your turtle screen is open. So in the taskbar,
In the password what?
taskbar down where you see your time and all those.
Hmm?
Okay, do alt tab.
That's 10.
No, no, do alt tab. Yes, that is open. So that
C and here.
yes, so this one is open.
C.
That is why the program is still running. So you don't mix up more than one program in, like, each lab has to be its own file.
Oh, okay, I
Okay.
understand.
Yeah, so now only your program is finishing. So your program finished long, like the first part got finished and the second part was a turtle. So don't mix the labs together. So yeah, you're good. And who wants to do the 9th and the 10th one? So we just have like 2 more programs to be done. Vatsal, you want to do the 9th and 10th one? You can stop sharing, Sean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and do the 9th and 10th one and we'll be done with that.
And can I leave?
Yeah, you can leave, Sean. You can
Okay, I
leave.
shared my.
7 o'clock.
Can you
Yeah,
guys see my screen?
yes, Vatsal. Sean, you can leave if you want.
Wait, I have to
Okay.
check what lab. I did 2
Bye-bye.
labs,
Bye.
so I'm gonna do
Yeah.
lab 9.
Yeah, lab 9 and 10.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, if you are also leaving, Snigdha, it's just like Sean. No, not Sean, just Vatsal is doing it. It's
Daksha, stop. Stop. Stop.
you copied the 9th one.
Yeah. Daksha, stop making me do that. Ow. Let go of my hair. Did I copy it?
Yeah, copy it. Let's see like what happened. Maybe both of it got copied at the same place.
It's okay. I'll just delete the excess stuff because this
Yeah.
is taking too long.
Yeah.
What?
Lab 9 is already existing.
Oh yeah. Okay, I did all of that stuff for nothing. But
So yeah, you can run the code.
Okay, yeah. So let me run it. So
Is that the code?
enter the
Yeah,
first.
enter the first number. Yep.
The what operation? Guess I'll do multiply.
No, you say 3. You just say 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5. So yeah, so that's why just like given. Yep. So it multiplied that, and that is the answer. So if you look into the code, we actually brought in all the functions inside, whatever we did so far, and then scroll down. So all the functions are defined. And after the input is taken, you're asking additional question to the user saying, okay, what operation do you want to do? And the if else condition is basically explaining if the question is 1, do add. If the question is 2, they've answered 2, do subtract. If it is 3, do multiply. If it is 4, do division. If it is 5, do remainder. Else, if they are giving 6, 7, 8 like that, it just says, okay, I cannot do that. That operation is not found. Okay. And your turtle window also should have been opened. So can you look for your turtle window? Do alt tab, it may be open somewhere.
Okay.
Yep. So this one, yeah, based on the shape what you want, it will be drawing the shape. So you go ahead and give what shape do you want to draw, and what is the radius of your circle. Yep. So it drew a circle with 123 radius.
Many two.
Okay.
9.
So class is done. I will post the homework shortly. So the homework mostly maybe like one particular project. So that let me see. Like I'll post something by end of day today. Okay. See you all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Snigdha.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. I think everyone have left. It's only us.